Hello, Connective. Today we have the Mediumship training deck. We're looking for just one card. One card out of the Mediumship training deck. Cards are being super tame and orderly today. All the decks are just staying in my hands. They're just going through little by little, one at a time. Just want one card. One card to fall out for the Mediumship training deck to talk about today. Okay, so I've been taking the card that falls out first, which is Sitting in the Power. A new one. It's a new one. Yay. Okay. Let me read it. Sitting in the Power. When learning to connect with the other side, it's essential that you make time to get to know your own spirit. If you've randomly pulled this card, then Spirit is calling you to take time now and sit in your own power. It's time for you to consciously focus on your own inner light and tap into the unlimited spiritual power within you. Take a moment to close your eyes and imagine you're slowly and gently breathing in light. Allow that light to fill your physical body, letting it expand your own energy and aura. Continue to breathe in this simple manner, allowing some time to sit and be in the expansion of your own loving light. Keep it simple in the beginning as you develop this technique, allowing time to get comfortable with this practice. Notice whether you feel energy in certain areas of your body or chakras. Do you see images in your mind? Do you hear sounds or music? Moments of profound silence are to be expected and are quite normal. By devoting time to this breathing meditation, it will help expand your awareness and allow your psychic and mediumistic abilities to grow and flourish. It will also help revitalize your body, mind, and soul, bringing you to a place of balance and harmony. Once you learn to tap into your own spirit and power, you can access it at any time that you wish. So, it's funny that this deck actually has a card that says this because we've been pulling other cards from other decks and kind of talking about this, like we've been saying standing in your own power, but it's the same thing. It's your power, it's your energy, like it's kind of the same thing. Let me kind of pick it apart like I like to do. It's talking specifically about mediumship and knowing your own spirit. Even if you've spent all of your time in fight or flight and you know that there's things that you don't like and you know that there's things that you like and you know that like for me personally, I could see energy. So I was like, well, I must be able to feel that vibration that everyone's talking about. Like there must be a different vibration between, like a fake plant and a real plant and this and that and the other thing. And so I started with what was easy. So I started with the things that, I would get like a strong response with for myself. Like say if it was something I really liked or something I really don't like, I would sort of like feel that vibration to kind of understand like what category it went, or to try to even be like specific on a category without making too much sense. Almost like what color it was. If you thought of vibration in terms of color, like there's so many purples and blues and so many yellows. So, the vibration might be yellow, but it could be, burnt, orange, or it could be, sun, sunny, whatever, whatever yellow. And when you start to kind of pull apart those vibrations, and then especially like the ones that you like, you start to kind of find yourself, I was going to say bathing in it, and you kind of get it. You kind of get why you don't want to be in these vibrations and you do want to be in those vibrations, and how you do have a choice. Like you could even be somewhere where it usually invokes this one vibration that you don't like, but you can just totally choose another vibration and just sit in that while you're wherever you are that you don't want to be or whatever's going on. You know what I mean? Like it's possible. People do it all the time who aren't even in spiritual awakenings. I'm telling you, you don't have to be on a spiritual awakening to master some of this stuff I'm talking about. They're not parlor tricks. People have been doing it for decades, just not talking about it because it's working for them, and other people don't believe in it. And you know, even if they do believe in it, half of them can't do it. They can't do it. Too busy standing in somebody else's power. Too busy meddling with who other people want to be. And spending so much time trying to please others that they don't even know who they are. And then they attack you because you know you want to be. That's what, you know, a lot of times, what keeps us from being here is other people who can't be there and don't want us to be there either, you know? And this card is saying that Spirit is calling you to take time now and sit in your own power. It's time for you to consciously focus on your own inner light and tap into the unlimited spiritual power within you. So, you know, again, knowing you and, you know, as it says, you know, keep it simple in the beginning as you develop this technique, allowing time to get comfortable with this practice. Yeah, definitely while you're doing any kind of exercises, you know, with light and you know, trying to reinforce things, notice how it does make you feel. I do get physical sensations when I work with light and, you know, other things too, meditations and stuff. And it's one of those things that makes me, you know, that I know it works, but many more things have happened than just getting physical sensations. But, you know, once you get familiar with what those things are, then it does become easier to sit in your power. Because like I always say, everybody's different. So for some people, they might be used to something that never happens to you. And then you get used to something that never happens to them. And it's just the way it is. You know, another aspect of that is if you ever find yourself somehow creating a way where you are sitting in, like, say, your own energy, and then you realize that you actually like it, you like that energy, very easy to sit in it then, you know. And when other people want to take you out of that energy, very easy to go, no, I'm going to stay right here. Wherever you want to go, you can go. I like my where I am. And it makes it a lot easier. And yeah, you know, when you're dealing with others, it was talking about, you know, connecting with the other side, it being, you know, essential that you make time to get to know your own spirit. Yeah, it's true. It's being sunshiny here on the card, but you know, not all entities are pleasant, and you may or may not discover that on your own, which is, I kind of believe, you know, part of your, like, your life purpose in a way. Like, in other words, if you're not meant to deal with it, I don't think you necessarily experience it. Like, you might experience some kind of like a negative spiritual, you know, something or other at one point. I don't want to say it out loud right now because it's I don't want to talk about it, only because I don't want to spend time on this video talking about it. It's not anything that's terrible. It's just it's a belief that I have, that it's a connection of something that people call one thing, but I think is really something else. And in those situations, I feel that most of us, if not all of us on spiritual awakenings, have dealt with that situation once, you know, at least once. And we've all handled it differently, which is how, you know, basically kind of influences how we look at it. And like, again, I'm not going to say, well, I'll say what it is, but I won't say what I think it is right now. I'm talking about, you know, when you wake up and, you know, people are like, oh, sleep paralysis. You know, I feel like it's happened to a lot of us in like spiritual awakening, you know, spiritual circles, or people who have had spiritual awakenings. I feel like we've all sort of dealt with it differently, sleep paralysis. And I will talk about it in another video. It could be a while. I mean, this deck might bring it out because it's bringing it out now, and you know, it is kind of related to this deck. But I just want to go slow with the concept because, you know, technically on this channel, I talk about a lot of things, like, as a matter of fact, you know, but so a lot of the stuff that comes out or will come out on this channel is going to mess with people's belief systems. And so I want to make sure that if we do talk about it, you know, if it's something that needs some kind of support behind it or some kind of like real conversation where people can respond, that it's either done in a forum where people can respond, like on Zoom or something like that, or you know, it's done in a way, you know, live where people can respond, you know, but we'll get into that, you know, when we get into, you know, actual like group coaching or whatever. But it will come out, it will come up, you know, what I think sleep paralysis is and why I think that. But my point is because we all dealt with it differently, we all kind of stood in our power a little bit with it differently. And, you know, I think it marks how, like, we move forward as far as, like, how that subject returns in our life. Let's just put it that way. You know, and like I said, we will talk about it more because it is also directly related to this card, what I'm talking about right now. So yeah, like I said, it will come up again, but we're going to do it in pieces. Like I said, this card isn't actually addressing it, so we're not going to actually address it yet. You know, better to talk about right now while we're protecting ourselves and while we're breathing in light and while we're taking in light and while we're surrounding ourselves in light. You know, what sensations are we feeling? What are we hearing music? You know, or, you know, the ringing in the ears, you know, the things that people call like ascension symptoms, you know, and like you say, even if it's quiet, or maybe, you know, somebody has a release, they cry or something, you know, it's all part of this. It all, don't misconstrue any part of, you know, getting into this situation, into this energy as, you know, anything other than getting stronger. I promise, you know, and as you get stronger, it'll be easier to deal with more things, even just life. You know, sometimes we deal with stuff in life and we always deal with it a certain way. And then we get to the point where we're kind of here and we kind of go, you know what? I'm not going to react. I'm not going to respond the way I respond in the situation anymore. I'm going to do something different. I am going to respond this way because this is the way I would want somebody to respond to me, or this is how I want people to see me responding. This is how I want my children to see me responding, something like that, you know. And then you just do that, you know, and you just feel strong. You don't feel impotent. You feel like you're not reacting. Somebody has pulling your strings, or has control over your emotions, because you are you. And you are responding to the situation as you. It's actually more empowering than it sounds, because once you get comfortable with sitting in your power, that whole thing of responding to a situation in your power and then reaping the rewards of that is like double the rewards. You know, you just have to do the work to get there. A lot of people don't want to do the work to get there. They don't want to sit in their power. It's hard. Sometimes sitting in your power means saying no. Sometimes saying, this is just stuff when you're dealing with people in 3D. It's something totally different when you're dealing with something on a spiritual level and you're trying to sit in your power. But they are connected. They are related. If you can't say no to a person, you're not going to have a whole lot of luck with a pushy spirit. Keep that in mind. Till we meet again.